I just kind of drew this. This is traditional Vedanta. Avyakt, Nirakar becomes Akar through the power of Maya. It limits itself through its own power to experience itself and creates a multiplicity of things, forms, names, akara, gati, all these brilliant things it creates. And that is the beauty of it. And that was the traditional Vedanta. In traditional Vedanta, avyakta always is higher than vyakta. So Shankara, Adi Shankara, his goal is go back into the Brahman, that which is everything, dissolve, go back, mukt. Mukti was a big thing. So Mayas in Vedas means actually bliss. Mayas is not illusion. It's creative power. It's also our power to become measurable. I wrote it wrong. Power to measure. Power to become measurable. Power to become finite. So that's a mistake here. Sorry. So this form is what? And then comes the concept of anukrama or order. So we live in a very practical world. That is a practical, pragmatic order of living. We have names, we have forms, but if you start looking at this name and order, name and form, the order of name and form, actually it's just a very superficial way we tag things. For example, there is no reason, I don't know if you can see, this pen should be called a pen. We've been taught to call it a pen, but this is not a pen. Whatever it is, we don't really know it. When we start looking at it, we have no idea what it is. So then when we start looking at it, it becomes a form and a name. And if we continue looking at it, everything becomes totally unknown. Everything is connected at the same time. Everything is happening at the same time. And you're in that timeless state where all is happening. And the term that is used is pratitya samutpanna or pratitya samutpad in Vedanta. Everything is happening at the same time. We are all together right now, this moment, which is timeless, anant. There's no time. This moment is now. In this now, everything is happening at the same time. Everything is interconnected. Pratitya samutpad. It is born at the same time. And if you remove even one thing, everything collapses. That's the concept of pratitya samutpad. So as you become aware and nam roop dissolves into akara and gati, it then becomes something that you cannot talk about. It is totally unknown, anirvachaniya, that which cannot be talked about. Then you start reaching that other order, which is called the order of the Brahman. So the two anukrams is, one is adhyatmik anukrama and the other is the vyavharik anukrama. Vyavharik anukrama is for people like you and I doing business, name, you have a name, you have a form, and we are doing deals and talking about things and discussing things. Right now we are in the vyavharik, even though we're talking about adhyatma, we are not in that consciousness unless we are in that consciousness. We move into that consciousness and then suddenly everything becomes one, unity, that unknowable, avyakta, achintya, avikarya. So this was just a way to show Vedanta, and I didn't want to talk too much about it because Vedanta is another whole discussion and Sri Krishna will come to that. And very quickly, I wanted to take you forward to my next Picasso-like diagram. It does look Picasso-like. Vedanta of the Gita. So what does Sri Krishna say? Sri Krishna says that the Purushottam is higher even than the formless and the form. And he has that famous statement, through his yoga maya, he has created the form. He is not the form and so lower than formless. He is even above the vyakta and the avyakta. And through his power, yoga maya, he has created the para prakriti, which is technically when you reach that point, you can't really separate. We only mentally try to separate. Para prakriti is the higher status poise of prakriti, which is full of wisdom, love, intuition, knowledge, pragya. Everything that is happening in this universe has an intelligence to it, and that is Paraprakriti. And later we started calling her Shakti or Mahadevi or Mahamaya, Mahashakti. All forms of the Divine Mother come, and that is equivalent, not exactly the same, but equivalent to Paraprakriti. Paraprakriti is the one who creates our Jivatma. Our Jivatma, this concept of the Gita, is our individualized existence is intimate with Paraprakriti. And then the lower poise of the Paraprakriti is the Aparaprakriti, where everything is jada, there's no intelligence, things are just going on, moving on with inertia, and we are also here, and we have those 24 tattvas, which we have no control over, and life is just hurtling towards some unknown direction. We have no individuality, we have no power, no desire, no willpower to be able to change it, because even our willpower is part of this Prakriti. So anyway, I just wanted you to have this sense of the Vedanta of the Gita, to at least give you that perspective. I don't know if I made it any easier, maybe more complicated, but eventually these are all models. Once you start reaching into that awareness, Purusha gives you that sense that pure awareness really is the Atman which pervades everything. And that Atman is the Brahman, and that Brahman takes you to Paramatman. So these are not separate things. It's like looking at the ocean and saying, okay, Bay of Bengal is different than the Pacific Ocean, which is different than the Atlantic Ocean. They're all one body, one part you have experienced, and you say, this is all the whole world. It is not. It is, they're all connected and they're all one. So I know there were a lot of emails going through, texts going through, a confusion between Purusha. I don't like to use the word energy, because energy immediately takes you to the concept of physical energy, which we want to avoid. Being in the Purusha can bring you Shakti, bring you Siddhis, trying to keep you away from it, so that the concept of Purusha as pure consciousness comes. And Sri Krishna has given us beautiful definitions of the Purusha, which I think really give us, if there is any doubt, I just go to the master himself and see what he's talking about. And that's where I feel that I think the best definitions, some of the best definitions are given. Of course, in our Upanishads and all, another set of beautiful definitions, and then in the Vedas. So that's really it. I think these diagrams hopefully will help somewhat, and we can talk more about it. So today, I guess you want to do some shlokas, and I am sorry I've moved too fast a couple of times ago, but maybe we can go slowly. Maybe we can do 22, which is a famous shloka.
Dr. Should we also project? Yes. Should we also show the shloka as we are showing?
Yes.
That? Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to. Someone asked me. I won't name that person. Someone asked me to teach Sanskrit. So very humbly, I bring to your attention that I'm not a teacher of Sanskrit. I can introduce you to Sanskrit. I can have you enjoy the Gita, and through the Gita, whatever Sanskrit I have learned is through the Gita. So if you start enjoying, then I can show you a way of learning the Gita. But first, I think the problem with us adults is we want to learn like children. That's not going to happen. I've failed. I'm sorry, confess. I tried to go through all those grammar classes of Sanskrit and learning how to do this, and Mama Nama, Parikshita, Tava Nama Kim, or Bhavata Nama Kim. And then after, first of all, I don't have that much time. Second, there's no one around me talking in Sanskrit. So I'm talking to myself. It's just not practical. There's no conversational Sanskrit. However, in my life, the practical thing that I truly love is the Gita, is the Upanishads, the Vedas. So what do I need to learn Sanskrit for? To get in touch with the genius of our great teachers. And that's how I use it. So if you're interested, we can learn to enjoy it. And Sanskrit has to be enjoyed. You have to experience it multiple ways. You just can't look at it. And so I hope I can bring that. And I will, if you are interested, I will get you introduced to the Patha of Gita, which is not very difficult. We've talked about poetry, but I would love it if some of you can start enjoying it. And once you start enjoying it, then things will stick with you. What is that famous, without rasa, there is no jnana. Vina rasam jnana nasti. Jnanam nasti. Vina rasa. Let me see. There is another famous shlok someone just sent me. And if I can find it to you. So that rasam vina jnanam nasti. So right there, without rasa, there is no knowledge. If you don't enjoy it at our stage, then it's useless. And the other shloka, if I can find it, I'll send it to you, Swamiji. That came from, I think, Natya Shastra. Nahi rasadrate kashchidartha pravartate. That is Bharat Muni in the Natya Shastra. And I will forward it to you. If there is no rasa, then there is no meaning. That's what Bharat Muni says. What kind of meaning is there? So let's listen to me. Just enjoy. Don't stress yourself. And we'll just learn. And with my flawed part, even if it's creaky and rusty, just enjoy it. And then you can go to the real masters of Patha. So this is in Trishtup Chand. And we will go over Trishtup Chand, those who like poetry like me. So you can immediately see that there are 4 padas. Pada is 1 foot. So vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. So look at the genius, the brilliant poet that Vyasa is. By the way, Vyasa means, all it means is an editor. So it's a tradition rather than a person. We give the name because there must have been a genius, but that's what Vyasa means. So Vasa Sajana Na Yatha Vahaya. 11 alphabets. Now, we don't call them alphabets in Hindi or Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, we have 2, Swara and Vyanjana. Swara is A, A, I, U, A, I, O, what we call in English vowels. There are supposed to be 13. And Vyanjana is Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Kavarg, Kha, Ga, Ga, Pa, Pa, Ba, Ba, Ma, Ta, Ta, Da, Da, Na. Now, when you say Vyanjana, they all have the halant, so they are incomplete. When you add it to a vowel or swara, then the ka will become ka, ka, ki. So va becomes va, sa becomes sa. And so then it becomes a purna varna. This is called a varna. So this has 11 varnas. So if you just listen to me, and then I'll get you, there is a very nice website, Swamiji, I'll send you. It is called Super Gita. You can put that shlok there if you're interested and play it. And Swami Brahmanand has beautifully sung them, and you can find those chanting. Obviously, I'm number 2 after Swami Brahmanand, but you go to a higher level, jokes aside. So enjoy the sound. Feel the sound. Why? Because in our tradition, the sound itself is as important, or in some traditions, more important than the meaning. So I'll just say this, just take the first pada. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya. So as you start listening, my suggestion is, if you get into this, and maybe Swamiji, you can play this. Is there a sound thing there on it?
Yeah, Rajesh can play. Yeah, this is there here also. Rajesh, you have to do share sound when you share the screen.
Yeah, if you can play this for everyone. So obviously my creaky, rusty voice you will see something even more beautiful by some master.
No, I think what you should unshare it and reshare. When you're resharing, then you can share sound.
That's fine. Next time you can do it.
So
So
let's you can do it.
okay, if you can do it. So the sound has qualities, vibrations that if we start opening up to, we can start touching the consciousness of our guru, of our teacher, of Sri Krishna himself. And this is a bhav, this is bhakti bhav. So people argue, was it really Sri Krishna or someone wrote about him? Fine. But I feel Sri Krishna's consciousness here. And it's mantric. The Gita has a mantric quality which we can absorb through our sound, and it can vibrate through us, and slowly, you don't have to intellectualize it. Slowly let it work through you. Someone wanted to have the Anand of Sri Krishna when we first met, the joy of Anand of Sri Krishna. This is one of the parts. Go ahead, Rajesh ji, play it.
जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णान्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि.
It's actually beautiful. He was going a little fast, so but now you know what you can do with this. But if you want, I didn't even know this was available like this. I guess it's from the ashram, but I think it is beautiful. So if slow it down a little bit.
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णान्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि.
We can also play from the super side. Should we play from the super side?
Say that again.
Should we play from super side?
If you can play from super side, because I really,
although the person Gita super side.
Gita super side. The person singing this has a beautiful voice, but he's not singing the traditional way of. Go on Srimad Bhagavad Gita ji, and then go on Shloka 2.22, I think, right? Now everyone can enjoy this. All of you can sing this and go on Swami. Yeah, that's it. Hit this and go on. Oh my, they don't have it. They don't have the play there. Audio वापस इसमें तो मेरे में हाँ there it is.
जैसे मनुष्य जीर्ण वस्त्रों को जैसे मनुष्य जीर्ण वस्त्रों को
First one. Select the first one. Yeah.
Yes. Up करो.
आसांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि.
I just love the way he sings it. He's beautiful. He has a vibrant quality that carries behind the word. And the other one that you played also is beautiful, but I think he was mispronouncing a couple of words. So he was saying jirnani. It's not jirnani, it's jirnani. So maybe I'm not hearing it correct, but yeah, when he pronounced it, I probably didn't get it right. So anyway, let's talk about this. So the way we change our clothes, Vasansi is, and I think you wanted me to get deeper in this, Swamiji, right? Am I doing the right thing?
Yes, please.
You want me to go deeper and deeper into one shlok until we have absorbed it in our DNA, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so vasansi is vastra. Vasa is to wear. A lot of words come from vasa. Even in Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam. So all this world is, vasa has two meanings. One is to inhabit, or to wear, from which comes vastra. So Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam Yatkinch Jagatyam Jagat. This whole universe, anything that moves in this universe, is inhabited by the Lord. But vasa also means to wear, is worn by the Lord. The Lord is wearing it. So here, if you want to remember, vasansi is your clothes. Vasansi. Vastron ko, as that's how it will be translated. Jirna, I think everybody can relate to. Jirna is old. So jirna, purane vastra. Jirnani, whenever you have jirnani, it is plural. So phalani, when you say phala, when you say phalani, phala is one, phalani is plural. Yatha is like. So the Gita is full of analogies. It'll give one analogy like this, and then second line of the verse will say, just like this, this is the way it is. So Vedvyasa loved analogies. He loves, and you see this word yatha. Yatha raja tatha praja. So the way a king is, so will be the praja. So that's how I used to remember it when I was a kid. Yatha and tatha will come later. And then vihaya is to let go. Her, wherever it comes, her sound is to let go. And this sound will come again and again. Vihaya, prajahati. Prajahati is, I think, Shloka 55 or 56, when Arjuna asks Sri Krishna what a sthit prajna is. And the first thing that Sri Krishna says is, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. So the one who gives up his desires. So prajahati, again you will see to give up, vihaya, to give up. So what is the common thing? The sound is ha. Ha is, again, it's an invocation, ha. So in Sanskrit, you will see that root words have a meaning. And so ha is an invocation, it's a sense of letting go. Vihaya, I think that's how the vihaya came. Prajahati came, and this will constantly come back. These words will come back. So just remember this vihaya word, and it's not that difficult to remember. Navani, I think you can relate to. Again, nava is new, and one rule that Sanskrit has is the visheshana, or the adjective, has to use the same vibhakti as the subject. So jirnani, navani, so jirnani, purana clothes, they will all have the same form. So they are plural. Jirnani is plural. Navani is again plural. Grihnati, so he will wear, he will take. Grahan karna, grihnati, naro parani. So nara is a human being, nara, and aparani. Aparan is another. So now if we go back to this and just hear the sound, vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naro parani. Now you start, look at the beauty of the sound. Just as a human being drops his old clothes and takes on new ones. Now you have, I hope I'm not going too fast. Is this okay? The speed?
Okay for me. As if others have something to say, you can comment.
If I have to slow down, so again, remember, I'm not a Sanskrit teacher. I just do it because I love it. If I can infect you with the Anand, then maybe you'll go back and listen to Swami Brahmanand and listen to different singers. There's a young kid, Pai, who sings it with his mamu. So you can listen to that. I enjoy it because he has a fresh voice. I think he's 5-6 years old. You can find it on YouTube. So just to get this joy, and if you can just play one shlok 3-4 times and absorb the sound, then you will find that there is a perfection to this. You will find that the moment you say vasansi jirnani, your brain will expect a certain sound. If I say vasansi jirnani yatha navani or yatha dehi, you will know that I'm not quoting it right. There is a completion to every pada. Every pada, it's called end stop. It stops when the pada is ending. So line 1 has 2 padas, line 2 has 2 padas. So vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya is 1 pada. Navani grihnati naro parani is the 2nd pada. Now if you read them together, they're again complete. I don't want to complicate this, but let me say something that is so dear to me. This sentence, this line is complete. Listen to this. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naro parani. Now, even though you may not be a musician, which I'm not, this line is complete. You can't add any more to it. You cannot take a single letter or sound out of it. This, in our tradition of dhvani gyan, phonology, linguistics, in our tradition is called spota. Spota, vispota. Spota is to burst, right? Explode. This whole thing comes out as one thing. It is complete. That is the beauty of our Shastra. Now, if you listen to a modern poet, tang tod deta hai, its notes are here and they're not connected, is having conversation. You don't have the joy of sound, the completeness of sound. Now, if you like this concept of spota, you have the spota of the root, the seed sound, bij dhvani. Jaise ha. We just said vihaya, right? Ha. Ha, what sense do you get? It's a sense of force, and Sri Aurobindo brought this out beautifully. Ha is a sense of effort, ha, but you're also exhaling. So that ha sound will give you a certain sense. And the theory in Sanskrit phonology is that originally there were root sounds. Sorry, I'm wrong. Originally there were seed sounds, bija dhvani. Each bija dhvani has its own psychological impact, what is called the guna. So, ha has a certain guna. Similarly, Sri Aurobindo pointed out, and this is beautifully, ma. When we say ma, what comes to our mind? What comes to our psychologically? And if I'll make it easier for you all, and you will know what I'm saying. When I say ma, what comes to your head? All of you. It doesn't matter which language you speak. Ma, immediately. So the ma sound, if you like to go into Sri Aurobindo's linguistics, is a sound of completeness, fulfillment, ending. So when I say Om, again, look at the beauty of it. Om contains the whole universe. That is our understanding. Ma, it ends. And ma is where the sound ends. So ma has a different psychological impact. Ma, mata, mom, mater, madre, matrix. Imagine each language, all these Indo-European language have the same Bij dhvani for mother. This is the brilliance of the psychological impact of the sound, and it must have a certain universal impact. And there was another writer, and if I can find the name, 72 languages he compared, and he found root sounds parallel in these 72 languages. So our Sanskrit goes below even the word to go to the sound, root sound. If you can catch that, then now you will see that every sound in Sanskrit has a significance. And from that sound will different words will come. Just like vihaya, prajahati, and vihaya means to let go, prajahati means to let go. It becomes suddenly very simple. Ma, when I say marina, and I say mrityu, so what I say mrityu, maut, marana, mortality, muerto, again the same sound ma, and ma is here what? Completion, ending, a different aspect. Marina, sound of the ocean, the sense of the ocean. Marina, where everything, all the rivers are coming to an end. So if we can go back to it, then every sound also has a sport. Every sound is complete. And now I'll connect you why I said that. It becomes what is called the akshara. Akshara is that which cannot be broken, that which cannot be destroyed. Akshara. Kshara, which you can divide. Akshara, you cannot divide. Same meaning akshara will come for akshara purusha, which cannot be broken. It is complete in itself. So Sanskrit gives you the sport of the sound, the sport of the word. Each word is complete. You cannot add to it. You cannot subtract to it. It has a complete meaning. And now the sentence, each pada is complete. So it is the pada sport, and then it is the vakya sport. So Swamiji, I think I had sent you some essays on it. But this is just so that you start feeling the completeness and the perfection of the sound. And I know I'm getting carried away with the sound and the poetry of it. So let me come back. Let's go to line 2 or the third pada. Tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani. So again the sound. Tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani. Now again, remember there's 11 varnas in it. Incomplete varnas are not counted, only complete. So the jirnani, the ra, will not be counted. Rest will be counted. Now they can be ta, like ta is laghu or risva. The sound is short. Tha is longer. And the understanding is the laghu is half the duration of the dirgha sound. Ta, tha. So the time it will take you to say tha will be double that of ta. Sh, ri. Ri is dirgha. Ra is dirgha. Ni is laghu. Laghu or risva. So tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani. So now that you know yatha raja tatha praja. So tatha is, yatha was jis prakar, tatha is us prakar. Like, and how would you say in English? For a, I don't know if I can translate.
Just like that, and
just
similar.
Like, and thus this is like that. So anyway, I don't have a proper translation of tatha, but you know what I'm saying. I think hopefully most of you understand a little bit of Hindi, so it makes it easier. Sharirani, again plural. Now, just like you had plural clothes, you have plural bodies. Sharirani vihaya jirnani. So as the body goes old, again sharirani and jirnani are plural. Vihaya, you're letting it go. Anyani samyati. Anyani, some other. Samyati will gather. Navani is new. And dehi. Wherever you see dehi and deha, dehi is one who inhabits inside the deha. It refers to the purusha. Purusha resides in the puri with the 9 doors. Yes, as the king, so the praja. Thank you. So dehi always refers to the purusha. Deha is the body. So the Dehi, just like a human being sheds or throws away his old clothes, and I'm saying old, I'm saying his because Nara usually means a male, but just like a human being sheds his old clothes and accepts or wears the new ones, similarly the Dehi or the Purusha sheds an old body and gathers a new one. This is a famous shlok, and I hope if you enjoy it, you will listen to it in your own quiet, in your room, and hopefully you can enjoy the sound and the language. And I learned by beating myself with this sound, and the sound, once you start enjoying it, it's very difficult to let go. I can't read anything else nowadays. I can't read any other poetry because this is so fulfilling. This is so complete. And another thing I want to just point out here, the Gita's structure, and then I'll stop because otherwise I'll go on my poetry kick. Look at the genius. This whole shloka with 4 padas is a complete poem in itself. If I did not give you the rest 699 shlokas, you could live with this and you could understand this completely and have a complete concept of what we call in English aphorism. I don't know how you're going to translate it. Aphorism is a short, terse saying that contains a truth. So this is a complete statement. This is a complete poem by itself, and this has a truth to share with you, but it is terse. Terse means concise, precise, just boom, he says his stuff and he's done. Now the Gita is made, 70 to 80% of the Gita is made of these aphorisms. Sutra, thank you. Sutra, and sutra itself is such a beautiful word. So each aphorism, each sutra is connected to each other in a stepwise manner, so to create a narrative for you and to create a whole poem for you of 700 shlokas. That to me is the brilliance. So each shloka is a sport in itself, complete in itself, but connected to each other. Each whole, W-H-O-L-E, each whole connected to the other whole to create a bigger whole. And this again, remember, function follows form. When you give a structure like this is in line with our ancient understanding that each of us, this universe is made of units, which units combine to form a bigger unit. So Brahmand and Pindand. Just like the Brahmand, Brahma is like an egg, complete in itself. Each of us is a Pind. Pindand, we are complete. We are also like an egg, complete in ourselves, because the whole universe, we are a hologram of the whole universe. When I use hologram, those who love physics will appreciate it. Or we are a fractal, those who like complex mathematical terms. We are a fractal of the universe. So that is the other genius, that the Gita is made of aphorisms. You can meditate, we can spend a week meditating on this and learning and going deep into it. That is what I recommend. Go deep into one shloka by another. Don't try to run into the whole chapter, because each shloka will will reveal itself to you. And if you really go deep into it, it was very difficult to get connected to the old thought process anymore. You say, you can't go back to the old way of thinking. Hopefully, that's how Sri Krishna works through you. That's how Sri Aurobindo will work through you. So you want to go down and read the translation. I'm hoping you guys, each of you, will start doing it yourself. So, okay, what does Sri Aurobindo say? the embodied soul. So he is using the word soul. Sri Aurobindo's concept was the psychic, but he uses the word soul because whenever you say psychic nowadays, people will get confused. So he used the word soul. So remember, the soul is with his particular reference. The embodied soul casts away old and takes up new bodies as a man changes worn out raiment for new. Now this is an aphorism. This is what we call an aphorism or a sutra. Sutra technically means a string, that which connects. So beautiful meaning of the word sutra, and each of these is a sutra. What else? Do we have anything else, Swamiji, Beneath? I think we are good, right? I've spent almost 45 minutes, 42 minutes on one shloka. I think it is good. If you want, I can take the next one, or you can just meditate on this, whatever you guys like. If you want to go into an Anushtup, then quickly let's go to the next shloka. It is Anushtup. This is, now look at this. This is 8888. Varnas are 8888. And so music changes. Now, the beauty of this. Now, we started, now I'm going to read it. I'm going to do it in my way, and then you see how the music changes. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnani naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi nainam chindanti shastrani nainam dahati pavakaha na chainam kledyantyapah na shoshayati marutaha. Now the music has changed. So whenever he goes to the Trishtuk, which is longer, takes you longer, it is either something he has to elaborate, or it is something more dramatic. Just like two of us are talking, I will be talking to you slowly, then I get excited and I'm going to talk fast with you. I feel this is what Vedavyasa did. That he moved from a slow gathered rhythm of 11 varnas per pada, and then he moves Nainam Chindanti Shastrani. It looks like he's driving a shastra through you. And it's so beautifully the switch happens and the anand of that. And I just wanted you to get that. And now he has taken the same meaning as before, but he has elaborated it further. And very quickly, Nainam Chindanti Shastrani. No weapons can go through it. Weapons cannot cleave it. Nainam dahati pavakaha. So no fire cannot burn it. Nacha enam kledyantapaha. So water cannot wet it. Apaha is water. And so apaha will come again and again. Apa also means work. So in Veda, you will see that, often that play, it's a pun. And nashoshayati marutaha. So marutaha is air that cannot drive it. So how quickly the meter has changed, and if you're paying attention, and if you're doing a part, you will see how the tempo is changed, almost like a musical raga or a symphony. He has changed the tempo. This is called the hierarchy or various levels of understanding. The Gita we take it for granted, the meaning now, we all understand it. But as you go deeper, there are layers and layers of understanding. There's a play of sounds. And again, you will hear these root sounds come back again and again. And you will see the word spota come. And then if you can capture the spota of the whole line, the whole pada and the whole shloka, then it becomes beautiful. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledyantyapah, na shoshayati marutaha. Now you play Swami Brahmanand, and you'll see how beautifully, if you can get him, or the, above there should be a sound, 2.23, and then play it. Yeah.
नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः न शोषयति मारुतः.
He is absolutely beautiful. I love him. Of course, you're free to listen to whomever you like. But so I think I just wanted to bring this sound element. And if we ever go into trying to learn Sanskrit, then my way of Sanskrit is going to be very different than most teachers in a primary school. My way of Sanskrit is, you're not going to be talking conversational Sanskrit, but you need to be able to appreciate the beauty of the language in our Shastras, and especially in the Gita. My focus is the Gita. Of course, the Veda is even more complex, how chanting is done. If you want to hear someone who knows how to chant the Veda, it's absolutely gorgeous. And again, in the Veda, the sound also goes up and down. So it's called the Uddat, Anuddat, and it's longer. But that we will come to another time. I think this should be enough, right, Swamiji?
I think we are good. We have one question.
Yes.
From Pallavi. It says, as I meditate on this Shloka 2.22, will the Vyavaharik interpretation reveal itself? Or while meditating, deliberately map it onto my life experiences? Question mark.
So my suggestion, and I'll just give you my bias, is to appreciate the Gita in multiple ways. If we are, to me, it is one of the most, if not the most important Shastras we have. Maybe if we just learn the Gita, I think the essence of the Veda, the essence of the Upanishads is there. Almost everything is given there in 700 shlokas. Of course, learn more if you want to read the Upanishads and the Veda. I think it's the pivotal, as Parthodada called it, the pivotal Shastra of our tradition, of our Sanskriti. So you have to appreciate it in multiple ways. And that's my goal, to introduce you to the joy of enjoying it, tasting it, eating it, breathing it. That's how you have to do it. And in the Hebrew tradition, in the Jewish tradition, there are two ways to approach a book. One is to read a book. But the real important books, you know how to approach them? You eat them. You are supposed to eat the book. And what does that mean? You devour the book every possible way. And so if I can introduce you so that you can start eating the Gita in the nice, of course, respectful way, and all your senses, it's coming, sound, meaning, the vibrations, the mantra, what Sri Aurobindo calls the mantra, if that we can impart, then it will become infectious. So, Parulji, I do not know how it will impact you. That's the beauty of it. I have no clue how it will impact you. All I can tell you is how it impacted me. Now it becomes a very personal relationship. To me, it is a connection. To me, of course, being biased and reading Sri Aurobindo, that's how I reached the Gita. And I did not read the original Gita until, 9 months ago, when one of our friends insisted that I talk about it in Hindi. Before that, everything I knew about the Gita was from Sri Aurobindo. And I think that's another beautiful commentary, which is, to me, the best commentary on the Gita. So I have now, because I have to read up and share with you everything I can. Now I have 15 books on the Gita. I'm reading Purohit Swami's translation. I'm reading Robert Miner's exegesis, which is beautiful, by the way. For a man of literature, I love reading it. There is of course, our ISKCON, then Siddhanta Lankar, Satyavrat Siddhanta Lankar, beautiful Hindi. I love Hindi, so and then of course Sri Aurobindo, and then someone in Junjunu put together Sri Aurobindo with the shlokas, so that's another beautiful way of reading it. There are many, I think William Butler Yeats did it, Annie Besant did it, there's so many. So I'm just reading. I think most useful to me are those that go deep, deep, deep into it, and the Anvaya, and touch me in different ways. Then it seems like it has become a part of me. So when you meditate on it, Parulji, it will unveil itself to you depending on how and who you are, depending on your psychology. And I don't want to tell you how it will unveil, because the moment I tell you, your mind will get, the mind is very funny. My mind will say, okay, now I'm waiting, now it's going to unveil itself. No, we don't know. It's you. You are completely unique. Remember, you are yourself, and you are going to approach the Gita yourself. And the Gita will present itself to you, will unveil itself to you in your own manner, not in Parikshit's manner or in anybody's manner, no matter how, smart somebody else is. Yours is your own unique spiritual journey and unveiling. So I usually don't try to answer that question. If it unveils to you in practical terms, great. If it doesn't, what difference does it make? If it unveils to you in a spiritual way, so be it. If it unveils to you only in a practical way, so be it. Now it's between you and Sri Krishna and Sri Aurobindo. Now I step away very nicely, quietly, and now you are totally. And that's the beauty of our Vedanta. That's the beauty of our spirituality. That eventually it really doesn't matter what somebody else is saying. It is what you know. Whatever I tell you is all on the surface. Whatever I'm saying is everything. Even Sri Krishna himself says about the Veda, if I can find that to you, even the Veda he drops. Imagine the boldness. And if I can find it for you, it is such a beautiful shloka. Samplut. So yeah, there it is. I'm just going to read it so you just enjoy it. And I'm going to give you the meaning. It's the 46th shloka, and if you want to put it up there, that's your choice. Yavanartha utpane sarvatah samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. Just like a well has no meaning in a flood. When there is a flood, water is everywhere. What are you going to do with a well? It has no meaning. That is the meaning the Veda will have for someone who has had the inner knowledge. Sri Krishna is saying this. We who love and treasure our Shrutis and have utmost respect for it, and then he says, boom. Once you know that, then it is no longer important. Not that he's disrespectful. Sri Krishna will come in the 4th shloka, the 3rd shloka, talking about the Veda, how to approach the Veda, the symbolic meaning of the Veda. But initially, he just gives it such a beautiful aphorism. After that, now you're going to go back and start touching your own core. That is what is the key. You have to find that. Forget all this noise. Forget all this static. And go back to who you are. And that is if that is caught, then I think all our talking and listening has fulfilled its purpose. So that is what I'll say. Sorry, I don't want to tie you up with my ideas and experiences.
I think we have one more question. We'll take it as the last question to end. From Rahul, he says, in your experience, what has been the best way to overcome from our worldly vasanas and desires towards complete surrender without desires, or only desire being merging with Krishna?
I'll give you my okay. I try not to talk about myself, but let me give you my little experience. One is you have to enjoy. You got to enjoy. You got to enjoy. And there's a very beautiful aphorism, talking about aphorism by Sri Aurobindo, and only a guru can say such a thing, which you may enjoy it, or you may say, this is too scandalous. His most powerful aphorism to me was, the day you start enjoying the divine like a man enjoys the body of a woman. I'm sorry, Parulji, please forgive me, but I'm paraphrasing Sri Aurobindo. That is the day, and something you can find that aphorism for me. That oneness, that intimacy with the divine, complete. That is the day. When the moment you become intimate with the divine, somewhere you have touched the divine, that is the transformation that you need. Everything else will fall off. Mother also says the same thing beautifully. I didn't even know she said it. An intimacy with the divine. Once you have that, the yoga becomes very simple. Now, how do you develop the intimacy with the divine? It happens. We can't make it happen, right? So you can, but I think all of us have an inner, we all have it, I believe. We all have a deep love for something beautiful, something great, something. Maybe you love Sri Krishna, maybe you love Sri Aurobindo. Sometimes just you got to know. It's like a friend. You find a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I got to watch my genders. You got to schmooze. You got to spend time. You got to know each other. Then slowly you fall in love with the person. And I don't know. It could be love at first sight. You know each other so closely that there's no separation. If that happens, then it's your goose is cooked. That is my take. Now, how do you do that? I think we need to drop all our hang-ups. We have a lot of hang-ups. God cannot be, we can't have fun with God. God is serious. God is going to judge us. That's all. Throw all that away. Nothing against any different thought process. Sri Krishna is a lot of fun. Sri Krishna is Ananda. If we can start having Ananda with Sri Krishna, then you will realize that you don't need to do any yoga. You don't need to fight anything. This whole thing about withdrawing from the senses, yes, Sri Krishna says it, Kurmonganiva sarvasha. Like a tortoise, you draw your limbs. Yada samharte chayam kurmonganiva sarvasha. Famous shlok, right? Just draw yourself from your senses. Yes, I think it's a good preparation. Then prajahati yada kaman. So drop your desires, push all your concentration on Sri Krishna. After a while, you realize that everything is Sri Krishna. So what senses are you going to drop? Everything that is moving is Sri Krishna. The moment you start getting that sense, then suddenly the whole thing turns upside down. So initially, you can withdraw yourself from the senses. That is a practice you can do. Realize that what you're experiencing from the senses is not, is distorted, has adhyasa on it. Not because it has adhyasa, because your mind is seeing it as something else. Adhyasa means to impose. Adhyaropa, aropa, you're putting it on something. You're seeing a rope as a snake. The world you are seeing, all this energy, all this stuff. Now I'm seeing here that I have to make money out of this, and I have to become rich, and I have to become famous. But if we start realizing that, and this is the most powerful thing, first 2.11 to 2.25, is to start seeing the unreality of all these things that Arjuna is getting upset over. I'm going to kill them. First argument of Sri Krishna is very simple. You cannot kill anyone. You cannot hurt anyone. You cannot be killed by anyone. The moment we realize that, what happens? What happens to our concerns? To our seeking for money and karma and desire and fears? Just that meditation itself frees you up, unties the knot. And I hope we can stay with that meditation, because 2.11 to 2.25 is all, the first argument of Sri Krishna to Arjuna is all about that. I think it's the very important standpoint of Sankhya. Let me just throw one more thing which I could have maybe didn't say clearly. We don't know how old Sankhya is. We have no idea. The oldest literature we have is the Veda. So when we talk about the Sankhya, and I gave you the diagram and all, that is the Sankhya of the 24 tattvas, that traditional Sankhya that came to us. The Sri Krishna's Sankhya that he talks about throughout the Gita is his own Sankhya. He has taken all that and he has given his own turn to it, which is Sri Krishna's way of taking everything we know, we think we know, and just giving it a new twist, which is fine. So I think I'll stop here, because then I can go on and you guys have to go and do things.
Yeah, I did find aphorisms and paste over there.
So I don't know if I answered the question. Different ways. Find your own way to approach the Gita so that you have a deep, intimate connection, relationship with Sri Krishna. I think that was the question. How do you reach that point, right?
Yeah, and the second one was, how do you overcome desires? So that we have addressed.
Yeah, I think withdraw. Two things Sri Krishna says: withdraw from your senses and withdraw from desire.
Yeah.
His mathematical, yogic, scientific ways, this is how you do it. There was someone who quoted Sri Krishna Aurobindo there. I quickly saw that. Do you have that?
Yeah, I just put it this, you see. I posted the aphorisms.
That is an amazing aphorism. So if we can reach the divine in that manner, intimate, one, totally connected, no difference, boom, we're done.
If I can, share, recently I saw this and we were discussing with when we met Parthaji.
Yes.
There is a story from the old time when they say that when the monkeys are there in the jungle, and the shikari goes to catch them. So what he does is he finds a tree with a small hole and puts peanuts inside it. And the monkeys have the desire for peanuts, so they come and they put their hand in the thing and they hold, and now he can't pull it out, right? And then the guy is coming to catch the monkey. He's going to be gone forever. He knows, but he just doesn't, the attachment is so much with the desires which are in the mutti that he just gets caught, right? So it was very interesting to see all of us are like, we have put our hand in the world and we are holding on to certain things, whatever, desires, likes, dislikes, politics, family, and we don't want to let go basically. And we are looking for some advice on how to overcome. Basically, you have to just hold it's so simple and you'll be free, but you don't want to do that. So priority is still the peanut, not the, so everybody has its own set of peanuts which we are connected to. We are just holding on. It's very interesting. For somebody it's business, somebody it's something else, somebody it's kids, whatever else, right? I want to do. So we delay basically, even people like us who are all in this session hearing Sri Krishna, right? We have been at least given a hint, but are we ready to let go?
I think all of you are ready. I'm just going to say this and take it. All of you, everyone is ready. The fact that you're listening to Sri Krishna, you're ready. For each, for his or her own reason, you're listening. And I hope, because if there is a way if there is a way for the nation's future, our dharma's future, then we need to go deep into, at least into the Gita, and start living it our own way. Your way will be totally different than mine, because you are different. Your personality, your vyaktitva is different. It will unveil itself in a different way in you. And that's the beauty of it. Each of us, don't beat yourself up. First thing, stop beating yourself up. That's all. realize your inner divinity, and just now let it happen. Enjoy the Gita, read it if you can, listen to Swami Brahmananda, and poetry, if you like poetry, I'll keep throwing the poetry of it on you. And just in this session, don't beat yourself, just enjoy. And if you can start enjoying it, then I guarantee you, if you can start enjoying Sri Krishna, that's it. Nothing else is needed. What else is needed?
Yep.
I've sent, just for everyone to know, and Swamiji is sitting on it, I sent him a draft of my book, The Literary, what is it? What is the book? The Literary Genius of the Gita. And my goal is just for people to appreciate the genius of the Gita. There is nothing, I don't even explain the Gita. You just enjoy the Gita. That is my whole goal in life now. After you all have changed my life also. Now I'm enjoying it so much. I'm just sharing the joy. Just enjoy it. I think that itself is changing my life. So that is the book. If someday we can bring this joy in everyone around us, that will become contagious. You will not change the world by teaching someone else. But if you're full of that joy is contagious. I think that is maybe we can do. And that is if that's our inner journey together, even though that sounds paradoxical, our inner journey together, I think that is one thing. And each of you can now start going deep into it and share things. It's not that I have to talk. I have no PhD in the Gita. You can go deep and share something. If you learned something beautiful, please share it. I mean, that's how we grow together. All right, I think I've taken enough of your time.
Thank you.
Okay,
Dhanyavad.
namaste. Enjoy yourself. Have fun.